Don't you worry, the clip's about to begin, but don't forget to subscribe. Or else, don't make me turn this website around.
All right, we're going to talk to Mike next. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
You're on the
Hello.
line. I'm calm now. Sorry. I know you probably heard all that. How you doing?
Oh, no. You know what? No, I'm a big fan of Angry Shannon. I am.
He doesn't have to hear often,
I
but
think
when
that
she
was
does, he's angry.
entirely merited. Your patience is to be astonished at.
Thanks, Mike.
Please, don't sell yourself short, by all means, Shannon. Really psyched to talk to you both.
Great.
I am a recently flowering anti-theist for my part.
Oh, okay.
So if I could maybe mix up the rhythm of the show a little bit.
It's probably a good idea.
Just dive into this facet of life.
Sure.
My question, I guess, is I am becoming more and more virulent in my belief in science and my anti-theism as I see it playing out in the political realm, particularly in the U.S. When it starts to affect things like healthcare, then it's time to go to war with science, I believe. And I think everybody being scientifically literate would be to everyone's benefit. And I don't seek to alienate theists, I seek to make them question their own beliefs. And as a result of not having any social support for this and being in my own process of religious recovery, I have ultimately started my own Boston atheist group. Anti-theist rational skeptic group on Facebook.
Okay.
Because it does not exist in this part of the country. And that bums me out really heavily.
So have you spent a lot of time like roaming around online on places like, well, Twitter's not always the best place to go.
I have. I am currently jobless and I'm a stoner musician, parenthetically. So, that's, if I'm not playing music, I'm goofing around on the tube and watching you folks and Dillahunty and Atheist Experience. And I was actually on Talk Even earlier, much to my nervousness and eventual delight.
Eric and V are great.
For a long time. Pardon me?
I said Eric and V are great. They're good people to talk to. Yeah.
It was. Eric was not even in today. It was a Dr. Warren someone, I believe.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Who is lovable entirely for his own reasons. It was great to see a bona fide scientist in the seats. So that's sort of I'm wondering how to make my increasingly unpalatable ideas more palatable. I guess, and sort of
your question is how to kind of communicate with
rather
people?
than vinegar. I'm sorry?
So your question is kind of how to communicate with people, create communities, and build bridges to have conversations with theists.
I want to be a humanist first and an anti-theist second.
Great. Cool. All right, Hannah, do you want to have a go? And then I'll give it a try after.
Oh, boy. I'm bad at this because the first thing I ended up doing was made a snarky YouTube channel about it. But,
who has it?
I'm sorry. I feel your pain.
Basically, in terms of focusing on the humanist stuff, I think that's a good avenue to go down. I think that's a good way to get people open to those ideas, because of course, if you go up to people or communicate the idea that just like, hey, I think your religion is destructive, or I think that your religious thinking is leading to the harm of other people, it's going to close people off, even if what you're saying may be true about certain people. So I think it's for sure. So taking it from that perspective of, I just want to make sure that people's rights are protected. I want to make sure that people have the things they need to live and thrive. That's a good avenue to go down, because if you go positive with it, people might have their own reservations due to religion, but at the very least it would probably open them up to realizing, okay, well, this thing is positive, so if my religion is telling me this is bad, what does that mean? I think that's more effective than outright,
Right.
That's such a good strategy.
That's precisely so. I don't mean to. I'm not in it to debate people. Well, okay, I am.
We all are to a certain degree.
Some of
we
me
can carry on more
enjoys a healthy
dialogue.
debate. I admit I'm argumentative as a weakness, but I like, all the more reason that I like to cite my sources and say, well, this study and this many scientists and the National Association of Ethical Ecologists or what have you. I can cite that rather than say, well, I watched Alex Jones and he said that.
Right.
I don't want to reduce my arguments to memes.
Right. Well, it doesn't sound like you really want to have arguments as much as you want to have dialogues, at least in the type of engagements that you referenced in the call. And I think Hannah's perspective there is actually a really good idea, because if you can find something that both of you agree on and figure out how you both come to the determination that you agree on it, something like human rights, for example, and then
this is
there's common ground there, and you can build from that. Once you establish that the things that you find important are the same things that somebody else finds important, then you can build upon that. And if you can figure out why you maybe have some difference in perceiving things and understanding them as important, that's worth talking about as well. I'm a huge on actions aligning with intentions. So if you want to debate, if you want to argue, I mean, sure, there's space for that. There's definitely people who will want to engage you in that. And arguably there is some value in it, because there are people who will be kind of shaken out of their shell by the shock of an abrupt conversation.
I was shocked.
Right?
I mean, I sort of feel as though a genuine awakening to the state of things is bound to be a shock and is meant to be a shock and should be a life-altering shock. Everybody's
deconversion is a different story, though. Some people don't have that sort of shocked experience. Some people, it's a gradient, right? Like for me, I would say it was a gradient.
Absolutely.
More so than oh shit. There was more like this is dumb. Oh, this is also dumb. Oh, yeah, I don't believe that. Oh, I don't need this one anymore, until I eventually peeled it all away and realized I don't have any of it left. I just think I do. And
for my
maybe
part,
it's time to admit that I don't.
I believe it was a couple callers ago, but I must respectfully disagree, Shannon, with your take on AA. They have been explicitly Catholic in their attempts to convert me. I have gone to dozens of AA meetings in my time, and
what did you think my take on AA was? Because I don't support AA.
Pardon me?
What did you think? I'm curious now if I maybe miscommunicated, because I don't actually like AA.
No, I believe it's a fraud. It was court-ordered. I was living at a homeless shelter. So I was forced. It was part of the condition of me staying in the shelter was that I go to 6 AA meetings a week, and I had leaders of AA meetings tell me literally that the only way I could be forgiven was to confess to a Catholic priest, because he was the only one who actually held the power of absolvments. And I am a recovering Catholic. I was an altar boy. I went to parochial school. I went to Sunday school. My mom, to this day, is devout. My sister still believes in God, and I've had to find common ground with them during all this. And that has had shocks and stresses. But it's ultimately been a really, really enlightening and life-affirming experience, in the likes of which I'm at a loss for words.
Well, I'm glad that you've had a good journey. It sounds like you've had a lot of life experience, and I hope that maybe
really
some of this conversation
one epiphany after another.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to have life. Life should be one epiphany after the other. If you think you get it figured out, you're absolutely wrong.
I guess.
Definitely wrong.
I guess.
It's the one thing you can be sure about. I really appreciate you calling, and I hope that you found something valuable in the conversation. And thank you so much. Have a good rest of your weekend, Mike.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks
Bye.
so much. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.